Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Angel Message. And I'm in a little bit early today just because I've got some traveling to do this morning, and I've been madly rushing around packing and doing things to prepare for the day ahead. But I didn't want to go away without giving you this reading for the week ahead and talking a little bit about how the energies are for you and just helping you to move through these big transformations. I know that for a lot of you, there's big changes coming up, and they're not necessarily bad changes. They're actually really, really good ones. But sometimes the energy can feel quite turbulent when you're in the middle of a change because, you haven't quite got where you're going. There's lots of things going on internally. Sometimes fear comes up when there's change. And so I'm here to help you with that. And also to help you with, this is all about relationships this week, the angels were saying. So whether it's, a family relationship or friendships, colleagues at work, you and your clients, or your love relationship, your significant other, then pay attention this week to what comes up and what you're feeling, because how your relationships go stems from how you feel on the inside. And it's how you react and respond to other people. It's what you're thinking about it, and also what you're feeling can have very, very strong messages for you, which can guide you forward. It can help you to understand what you need and what you want, and if there's a change needed. It's really, really important. Hi, I'm starting to see everyone come on. Hey, Liz. Hey, Patricia. Thank you for being here. Hi, Jacqueline and Tyler. Lovely to see you. So I am early today, and so it's a bit of a surprise. I'm going to pull you some cards, and we're talking about this theme of relationships coming up in this moment. So how are the relationships for you? Are there any relationships that are feeling uncomfortable, or like you need to have a talk? Are there some things that you need to get really honest with yourself about? And what the angels are saying is that ultimately the healing that you do on yourself at this time makes all of the difference. And they're particularly speaking about guilt. They're talking about letting go of guilt and shame, because guilt and shame generally they're not as true as we think they are. So, if we do something that we know is hurtful to another person, and you're an empathic, strong, brave person, you're able to recognize that you've made a mistake, and that you're able to recognize that you've made a mistake, and that you need to say sorry, or you need to ask for forgiveness, and you need to change your behavior in the future. That's the function of being conscious of when you feel like you've done something wrong. But what the angels are talking about here is when you've had guilt about something that you haven't done wrong, or that you're holding shame about what someone else has done or said to you. And that keeps you in a state of keeping relationships away from you, or keeping relationships not just distant and separate, but not allowing yourself to fully open your heart to receive. Because deep down, if you're carrying guilt and shame, those energies are, by the way, the lowest energies that are possible to hold in your vibration. So for many years, I've been working with clients one-on-one, and whenever I come across guilt or shame, a need for self-forgiveness, those energies feel like black tar, and sometimes take a long time to pull out. Not a long time as in months or years, but they take longer for the angels to transmute them than they do other energies. Because if you've decided that you feel guilty or shameful about something, or you're holding on to shame for other people, and don't forget that many empaths have accepted the role of scapegoat. And as scapegoat, you tend to automatically try to take on the blame when other people aren't feeling happy in your family, in your workplace, wherever you are. You tend to feel like if someone's sad or someone's angry, oh, what have I done? And sometimes in some family units, a empath will become the scapegoat, where everybody projects their negativity and their blame onto that person, because it's the easiest person to projected onto because their boundaries aren't great, because their self-worth is a bit low, or because they're just not the person that's going to react in anger, which is the case often, not always, with the unhealed empath, is that they're not going to stand up for themselves. So they become an easy target to be the scapegoat. And on some level, because you're empathic, you want to soak up the vibes of everybody else until everyone's happy again. So you're trying to be a healer. You're trying to process like an angel, trying to take that negative energy and turn it into something positive. And subconsciously, you've believed, if I do it myself, then everyone else will be happy and then I can be happy. And it's very dysfunctional, very toxic to do that for you, because you're not to blame for a start. Everyone else doesn't get to heal if you take responsibility for their negative behavior. So if you live with someone who is rude or abusive or addicted or has chronic anger, and you take the blame for that or some of that, then you're not allowing that person to fully feel responsibility and heal. Whether they do or not is between them and their soul, but you're actually hindering their healing process, and you're definitely dragging yourself down. So there's a number of ways that people can hold guilt. You know, someone might blame you openly for something that they've done. Someone might try to make you feel ashamed for something they've done. Especially narcissists will do this. Or you're just the sort of person that says sorry a lot, and you naturally take the blame. And the angels are saying this has to stop. This energy is too much. If you get tired a lot, you get fatigued, you find yourself feeling down about relationships, then ask yourself, is this what I'm doing? Because it takes a lot of energy, a lot of your personal energy, your life force energy, to process all of those emotions. Secondly, they want you to forgive yourself for things that you may have done wrong. Maybe you have hurt someone unwittingly or just in a moment of anger. Maybe you have done something that was an accident or by mistake or whatever. But it doesn't matter if you're holding on to guilt. There comes a point where you have to do forgiveness for self, because the guilt that you hold on to is like a magnet for punishment. It's like subconsciously you're saying, I don't deserve good things. I don't deserve nice things. I don't deserve love. I don't deserve harmonious relationships. And you tend to have a lot of drama, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety in your life. So just seeing what people are saying here. Jacqueline says, this seems an intense day. Okay, yeah. Just since when I did the webinar, the light activation webinar, that those moments, the 10th and the 12th of January, very intense, and it's set off this kind of cascading energy, and it's bringing up things that we need to look at, things that we need to heal and be finished with. We need to change our thoughts and beliefs around, and guilt is one of those things. Because it's time for you to recognize that you can change the way you feel, and you can have the things that you want to have. This is an infinite universe. You are resourceful. You're connected to infinite wisdom. You're connected to the divine. You've got angels, and you yourself are creative and have powerful energy and wisdom available to you. And if you are in the position of feeling not good enough, feeling unworthy, or feeling victimized, persecuted, I'm not powerful, I don't have any power in this situation, I'm limited, I'm scarce, there's not enough, that will keep you in a state of feeling like you're on an emotional roller coaster, that you don't have control over what is going on for you in your life. And you will long for what you want, but you won't feel like you can call it in. So it's time for you to get into your power. And guilt and shame, unforgiveness, past trauma with relationships, past heartaches, all of that needs to be forgiven and released. And the karma, because the karma is the energy, what is created from holding on to that energy, if that makes sense. So if someone was mean to you 10 years ago over a long period, and you're holding on to that, and that you haven't quite yet let it go, and that there's unforgiveness, there's guilt, there's fear, there's judgment, there's resentment, that has that starts to create its own atmosphere, its own kind of energy field. And that energy field blocks you from getting what it is that you want, but it also it stops you from going where you need to be going. So, and that energy is the karma. So it's the karma of all of that you're holding on to, and you've got to let that go so that you can be free and things can start to manifest quickly, things can start to change, and you can get some clarity and rise above the intensity, rise above the fear. Amanda, this has been me learning to be more aware. Yeah. And so when you get a feeling of guilt come up, you can call on your angel straight away, Archangel Michael. I wrote a piece about Archangel Zadkiel yesterday because he's an amazing angel to work with. And to say, angels, I'm ready to let this go. I don't know how to let it go, but I'm ready to let it go. Please take it from me. Please take this karma and the heavy energy that this is creating for me. And I'm willing to release it to you so that I don't have to carry it anymore. And the more that you do that, and you can use meditation, you can use some of my meditation recordings, which are very focused on clearing energy from you. You can light a candle and visualize it burning in the flame, whatever you want to do. But the intention of letting it go is going to move you closer and closer to the goal. And if the angels feel like you need to go and see a healer or you need to do deeper work with it, they will bring that to you. You will find a way of doing that. So don't limit yourself by feeling you're stuck. Lucy says, yesterday I blocked an incessant narcissist as I realized it was draining every ounce of my energy. Well done, Luce. That's really good. And that's so true. Narcissists will drain every ounce of your energy and cause chaos because that's what they thrive on. They thrive on chaos and drama. And when you're empathic, you always think, oh, this person must not realize what they're doing. They must realize, they must think that they have to suffer or they must have gone through something terrible. But in fact, they do know it's their way of getting energy. But as an empath connected to the divine, a light worker, that's not how you get energy. It's how you lose energy. It's low, it's negative, it's fear-based, and it is draining. You create these massive cords. So hope you've cut the cords, Lucy, with Archangel Michael there to chop the cords for you. Hi, Dee. Amanda's had a big struggle this week, separated from narcissistic husband. It's been a rough ride. I hope you've read, what's her name? Dr. Christiane Northrup, Dodgy Energy Vampires. If you haven't read that, get it because it's very healing. I know when I separated from, God, it wasn't even a long relationship, from a narcissist who was chronically narcissistic a couple of years ago, that book really helped me to gain more wisdom and knowledge and you know, to heal after that, because there is a healing process. And I know that there are actually support groups out there, Amanda. So look up Dr. Christiane Northrup on her page. She was actually talking in a video the other day about a support group for healing from narcissistic partners. So sending you lots of love there. Hannah, hi Hannah. So true for me right now. And Tina, hi Tina. Yeah, so it's time for us, you know, what it's really about is that we are stepping into the light. We're stepping out of the darkness into the light. And we've done as much as we can do from the perspective of the persecuted, the held back, the disempowered. And we've done as much as we can do with this sort of holding compassion for situations that they need to heal. We mustn't, we can be compassionate, but from a distance. Holding the energy for someone else to heal, that time has gone, and that's a very low energy vibration to be in, and it will make you feel really rotten now because now our whole consciousness has shifted. If you go back to that, it makes you feel even worse. So it's just nudging you to get on with it and heal it. Forgive yourself. Forgive, because whenever we have to forgive another, we have to forgive ourselves as well, because that's the nature of our energy. We can't say that person did me wrong without having some unforgiveness towards ourselves and blame. And judgment always mirrors, fear always mirrors, unforgiveness always mirrors. So what you have to start with yourself, and you say, I forgive myself for being in that situation. I forgive myself for allowing some of the abuses to take place. I forgive myself for not seeing it, because you don't see it, otherwise you wouldn't be there in the first place. And that allows the forgiveness is for you, and it allows you to then let go of the other person. And it also allows you to learn the lessons, because the blessings and the lessons and the wisdom that come from that can't come while you're feeling trapped in unforgiveness, while you're feeling trapped in that person's power, when you're feeling trapped in that end, feeling persecuted. So being able to let it go isn't a judgment and saying to you, oh, you need to let that go, like get over it. It's not that at all. It took me a very long time to be able to let go of what happened. But it's not a judgment, but it's necessary to keep working towards that goal whilst building up your self-love, your self-nurturing, the things that you are willing to do for yourself, rather than feeling trapped in the guilt punishment cycle, right? So whatever you may feel guilty about, it's going to keep you in the guilt punishment cycle, which sabotages you. So I'm going to pull you some cards for this week. So energy's strong and the support is really there for us. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about different angels that you can work with. And you are being asked to use your tools. And isn't it funny that when we are down, we tend to forget to call on the angels, or to put your energy protection up, or to sit down and meditate, or you just don't feel like it. And that's because the dark energy is working, fear energy is working against you. So those are the times when you have to use your tools. Go back over the 10-day challenge that I did in December, where there was lots of spiritual tools in that. And lots of people have told me they've watched it 2 or 3 times and they've gained something new every time. Go and look up the Empaths free masterclass on my website. It's a 90-minute masterclass, which you can watch for free if you sign up on my website. So rachelscoltock.com. You can just get that before it goes, because I'm going to change it soon for something else, and that won't be available anymore. Or go and do the Light Ascension webinar, which was literally helping you step into a higher energy body and connect with Mother Earth and improve your energy protection, that I did last week, which, when was that? 10 days ago. So that's up on my website in the store, Light Ascension webinar. All of those are tools that you can use. Okay. Nice. Okay, so I did pull a card earlier from the Archangel Michael deck, and I'll share that one first. And this one is, forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. So I really want you to take that in. You've done nothing wrong. And in A Course in Miracles, it says that what the mind creates isn't real. So when you're holding on to guilt, when you're holding on to resentment, any kind of grievance, you're actually holding yourself separate from the divine, and you're holding yourself separate from life. And when you recognize that isn't necessary and that you are free, that's forgiveness. That's the miracle. And the miracle happens and life changes. So your mind is telling you that you've done something wrong, that you deserve bad treatment, that you're not good enough, that you're unworthy, that all of your mistakes have led you to be, a disaster or stuck. It's a lie. It's an illusion created by the mind, created by the ego mind. And as soon as you shift out of that, which is possible, you'll never get there by thinking with the ego mind. You're never going to get to this place where I've solved the problem with your ego mind. It changes by you stepping out of that energy into a new energy, into a new reality, a new belief, a new perspective, which is what the angels, God, bring. It's tuning into the divine mind, not your fear mind. Your fear mind is the thing that has you wrapped up in a story that isn't true. So whilst it might be true that you don't have enough at the moment, that isn't true that isn't available to you. It's just that whilst you're living in that, it's like a very, very real movie that you believe, or a nightmare that you need to wake up from. And when you wake up, then everything works again. So the first step is ask the angels to help you. Thank you for helping me to forgive myself and others, to completely release myself. And you can use things like the violet flame decree, I'm a being of violet fire. I'm the purity God desires. It's a decree that you say over and over again with the help of the angels to clear away resentment, negativity, fear, drama, chaos. Look up the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer. Someone reminded me of that the other day. That's a great way of clearing energy. And you do that towards yourself, but you can do that towards those who you feel negative towards. That's the work you have to do to work yourself out of the negative and into a new state. The first card is Triumph. So isn't this beautiful? He's galloping, he's on his way. And it's like, you're going to be successful. Things are coming good. It all feels, now there's a bit of fog in that card. It looks sort of foggy. It all feels difficult, but if you stay determined and you stay on track, you're going to be able to get where you want to go. Horses represent freedom as well. Now this one, we said earlier, it's about relationships at the moment. So here we have a spiritual union, a connection with someone who is similar to you, but also it's reminding you that sometimes we need other people to support our dreams. And that is, you know, if you get together with a friend and you talk about the things that you want to create rather than moaning about the stuff that you don't like that's been created, that is powerful. Two heads are better than one, right? So take that for what you need it to be at this moment. It's an answer, but it's also some guidance. So it's about raising your vibration, getting in touch with people, you know, even in your thoughts. If you're thinking about what the narcissist did, if you're thinking about what that person in the street said to you, if you're thinking about the haters, you're in their vibration. It's as simple as that. But if you start thinking about your angels and healing and clearing all of that and connecting with a higher source, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, then you are raising your vibration and you're leaving that negative stuff behind. But I think there's a soulmate there for somebody. There's and it's letting you know that sometimes it's that spiritual connection that happens first before we feel the physical connection. The physical connection can be very blurry for the spiritual and the psychic. So that's why so many empaths get caught up in those very charismatic relationships that are actually toxic for you, because the physical sort of blots out everything else. So this is portending and guiding you to a more spiritual connection. And a spiritual person isn't necessarily someone who's, you know, covered in crystals or doing a spiritual work. Sometimes it's just the kindest person you can meet. They might not be particularly into spiritual stuff, but they're kind, they're empathic, they're loving, they're not sneaky and manipulative and negative. They wouldn't hurt you, right? And I can feel the angels are talking through me. So this is the outcome. Isn't this beautiful? Now the words are material harvest. I love these cards so much. Look how, now he looks like Archangel Raphael to me. Very much that sweet, beautiful, gentle energy. And his hands are open to receive. It's like when you heal your heart, when you clear away that negativity from your mind, when you really connect with the divine, you know, it's the ultimate romance, really, is the devotion to the divine. It's the ultimate of love, because it's not human love, it's unconditional, infinite, divine love. And if you allow yourself to receive that, which is what guilt stops you from doing, you are then in this state of peacefulness. And it's the peacefulness that guides you forward. It's through the peacefulness that you get the guidance. So being receptive, clearing the energies of fear and heartbreak and heartache and anger and resentment from your heart so that you can receive what is coming. And here we have, you know, abundance. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I've got a full day ahead of me and I have to take off. But thank you so much. Oh, Dee says, is the veil thin at the moment? That's a really good question. I would say yes, because energy is super magnified at the moment. And so it feels as if, this is a really good point, it feels as if you can access higher energies really easily. But it's also, we can access lower energies really easily because it's about us, right? We're the antenna. So there's so many angels, there's so much spiritual support at the moment. It's streaming in greater than it ever has done before for us, because humans have quite literally taken us to the edge. We are humans, right? All of us. But our maybe a lack of awareness, maybe greed, maybe just being blindfolded by the darkness, we've been taken to the very edge. So it has to come back. And so, yes, there's a lot of light, and you could say the veil is thin at the moment. So lots of love to you all, and thanks. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you. Sending you lots of love, and have a really great week. I'm out of my office, but every few days I'm going to check my emails. So if you've made a booking, don't worry, you will get in. I'm only away for a few days, and I will see you very soon. Thank you so much. Angel blessings, and have a really wonderful week. Mwah. Thanks.